If I'm looking at that fight, stylistically, I think if Islam gets to the ground, it's going to be an easy night. Islam's ground game is so good. I think JDM makes a lot of mistakes on the ground. With his scrambling, he's very good at it, but I think Islam doesn't let you scramble. So if you scramble, he'll good at locking in arm triangles, but you still got to get it to the ground first, right? It's going to be good to see how he is on the feet with JDM, who's kind of tricky, but I think if Islam gets to the ground, Islam will get his hand.
Islam versus JDM in the MSG. How do you think it will play out?
It's a very, very intriguing fight. JDM is growing at a rapid pace, and we all know what Islam possesses, and we know how good Islam is. So I'm intrigued about that fight. I don't think, because I feel like some people are kind of, initially when that fight was being announced, people were like, oh, this Islam's gonna do this, Islam's gonna take care of him, or JDM's too big. I think now we're starting to understand that fight's going to be a lot closer than we think.
Islam versus JDM. What do you make of that? Islam moving up to now welterweight.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. I'm excited to see how it goes. You know, Islam, is a lightweight. He's going to be a little smaller in the fight, but he's a well-rounded fighter. So, if he's able to take down JDM and control him, he could definitely get the job done. But it's going to be interesting to see how the size advantage plays a difference in the fight.
Who do you favor?
I mean, I seen the odds were pretty big. They favored Makhachev like 3-1. So I guess I got to go with the odds if they're going 3-1. But just because JDM doesn't have good takedown defense, but you never know. It's a fight, and JDM has some good hands, so it should be an exciting fight for the fans.
I'll destroy him. Those 3 words sent a chill through the MMA world. Islam Makhachev wasn't making a prediction. He was delivering a warning. After conquering the lightweight division, Islam was now venturing into dangerous new territory, welterweight. And the moment he began training with Khamzat Chimaev in Dubai, everyone knew he wasn't playing it safe. He was preparing for destruction. UFC 322 wasn't going to be another technical display. It was going to be a war between precision and power. From the very start of camp, the energy around Makhachev was different. This wasn't just a champion trying to defend a legacy. This was a man trying to rewrite it. Training side by side with Chimaev, one of the most feared finishers in the sport, Islam wasn't just refining his wrestling, he was sharpening his aggression. Fans watching snippets of those sessions said it all. The intensity was brutal. This was a version of Makhachev built not just to control his opponents, but to break them. Observers immediately noticed how different this fight felt. The stakes weren't just about belts, they were about identity. Could Islam's suffocating control and near-flawless grappling translate against bigger, stronger welterweights? Or would the extra size and power of Jack Della Maddalena finally expose his limits? Analysts broke it down from every angle. The consensus was simple. If Islam gets the fight to the ground, he dominates. But standing up, that's where things get dangerous. Maddalena's calm, sniper-like striking could force Islam into the kind of chaos he's spent his career avoiding. Colby Covington was one of the first to speak up. He respected Islam's skill set, but warned that the move to 170 wasn't going to be smooth. He won't have that same size advantage anymore, Colby explained, but even then he still leaned toward the Dagestani. Islam's striking to grappling transitions are deadly, he said. You never know what's coming, that's why he wins. In Covington's mind, it wasn't about how big you were, it was about how unpredictable you could be. But Alexander Volkanovski, who had stood across from Makhachev, wasn't so sure. He saw something special in Jack.
JDM is getting ready for Islam Makhachev. How dangerous is he for Islam? So he's going to be an absolute nightmare. You've got Bilal, who's a wrestler. Look how we handle that. And he's a beast on the feet. Islam's not taking this one lightly. So him moving up, I still think he's a nightmare for a lot of the people in the division, but I think JDM can do it.
Yoel Romero gives his honest take. Yoel Romero just shared his thoughts on a potential showdown between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena, and it's a must-hear. Romero believes that Maddalena, while being a big 170-pounder, might face a tough challenge against Makhachev's superior grappling. Do you think Jack's striking can beat Makhachev's?
He have, he don't have some just one plan for fight, and he have plan A, B, C, and like all alphabet, D, E, A, everything, if something not he couldn't do, he gonna try other one not good, he have next plan, and he's amazing fighter, and he's amazing friend, brother, and I think he will take this belt. I think he deserves.
Yeah. When I talked to him right after he vacated the lightweight title, he said he was having a bit of a hard time like adding on the muscle and keeping it on. He said it wasn't making him feel good, but he looks very good now. Do you think he's like very built well for welterweight?
Yes, he become a bigger, you know, now we have more power, more than ever, and I think he's ready.
He's calm, Volkanovski said. That's the difference. Jack's ability to stay composed under pressure had already neutralized Belal Muhammad's wrestling. Volk believed that same patience could frustrate Islam. He doesn't panic, he said. He adapts. For Volkanovski, the fight wasn't just physical, it was mental. Max Holloway agreed, calling it a battle of minds. To him, the real fight would happen between moments. Who reads faster? Who adjusts first? Holloway believed Maddalena's adaptability could turn the tide. It's like chess, he said. Islam makes one move. Jack answers with two. Robert Whittaker, a man who's lived in both divisions, had no hesitation backing Jack. He thrives in chaos, Whittaker said, and he's not scared of the ground. To Whittaker, the key wasn't stopping Islam's wrestling completely. It was refusing to get stuck there. He believed Jack's slick boxing, combined with underrated jiu-jitsu, would make Islam think twice about shooting. If he keeps it standing, Whittaker warned, Islam's in trouble. But not everyone shared that confidence. Philip Rowe, a natural welterweight, didn't think Islam's body could handle the jump. He's strong at 155, he said, but that strength doesn't carry the same way at 170. Rowe predicted that Jack's power and explosiveness would overwhelm him. He'll get up from takedowns, and when he lands, Islam's going to feel it, he added. Back in Australia, Jack's countrymen were rallying behind him. Steve Urqueg couldn't stop praising his composure in the Belal fight. It was one of the best performances I've seen, he said. He stayed calm, patient, and picked his shots perfectly. Urqueg believed that Maddalena's precision could pierce through Islam's armor in ways no one had done before. Yoel Romero also joined the conversation, admiring Jack's growth as a fighter. He fights with his mind, Romero said. He doesn't rush, he waits for the moment. Still, he warned that Islam's grappling remained unmatched. Jack can't let Islam dictate the rhythm, he said. If he does, it's over. Meanwhile, inside Makhachev's own camp, the tone was one of absolute belief. Umar Nurmagomedov, his cousin and teammate, laughed at doubts about size or adjustment. He's stronger than ever, Umar said. He has plan A, B, C, all the way to Z. The Dagestani mindset was simple. Prepare for every scenario. He's not just moving up, Umar added. He's evolving. Every video clip of their training told the same story. Islam looked bigger, faster, and even more relentless. Merab Dvalishvili, known for his grinding pace, offered a grounded perspective. It's going to test both of them, he said. Jack's not easy to hold down, but Islam doesn't get tired. Merab thought the fight would push both men to their physical limits. Islam can win, he said, but he'll have to earn every second. Charles Oliveira, who had felt Islam's suffocating top pressure firsthand, focused on endurance. Jack's patient, he said. He doesn't chase chaos. If he survives the early rounds, that's where things get interesting. Oliveira believed the longer the fight went, the more unpredictable it would become. When Islam can't control, he warned, the fight changes completely. Sean O'Malley looked at the bigger picture. To him, this was more than just a matchup. It was a legacy moment. Whoever wins becomes global, he said. That's star power right there. O'Malley imagined the ripple effect, massive fights, crossover bouts, and maybe even Islam versus Ilia Topuria in the future. Every Jack fight brings chaos, he said. And chaos is what makes stars. Dan Hooker gave Islam credit for what he was attempting. He's doing what Khabib never did, Hooker said. That takes guts. But he also warned that Jack was no small challenge. That's a big welterweight, he said. You can't just muscle him around. Ian Gary brought it back to fundamentals. It all comes down to takedown defense, he said. Can Jack stay on his feet for 5 rounds? Gary noted that Jack's improvements against Belal were impressive, but questioned whether that would hold up against someone as technical as Islam. One mistake, he said, and you're on the mat with the best in the world. Dan Hardy analyzed it from a psychological angle. Champions think they can dominate anywhere, he said, but new weight means new timing, new danger. Hardy wondered whether the added mass would slow Islam's reflexes, the very tools that made him elite. Even if Jack shocks the world, he said, staying champion at 170 is an even harder job. By now, one thing was clear. This wasn't just about belts. It was about evolution. Makhachev's precision versus Maddalena's poise. Dagestani dominance versus Australian defiance. Both men were stepping into a test that would redefine their legacies forever. Behind closed doors in Dubai, Islam was grinding harder than ever. Every training session was chaos under control. Khabib watched, Chimaev pushed, and Islam thrived. There were no smiles, just focus. He was no longer the calm, patient tactician fans were used to. He was sharper, angrier, and determined to silence every critic who said he couldn't hang with the big boys. The added mass on his frame wasn't accidental, it was calculated. Strength and timing were being rebuilt together, not traded. Coaches adjusted conditioning drills, blurred the lines between wrestling and striking, and made sure Islam could sustain his pace for 5 rounds against a man built to outwork him. This was about turning small advantages into decisive moments, catching a breath, landing a counter, locking position, and then never giving the opponent a chance to recover. And yet, that's what makes the matchup so electric. Both men believe in their path. Jack trusts his timing and the heavy hands that turned fights in his favor. Islam trusts his control, his transitions, and the quiet certainty that comes from years of disciplined repetition. It's a collision where confidence meets preparation. And history waits to see which one breaks first. For Islam, this fight isn't about proving he can win another title. It's about proving he can conquer any man in any division. For Jack, it's about exposing the one flaw no one's been able to find in Makhachev's armor. When the cage door closes at UFC 322, we'll witness something special. The unstoppable force of Dagestan meeting the unbreakable calm of Australia. And no matter who wins, the world will remember it as the night 2 of the most complete fighters in MMA dared to collide. And if Makhachev's words from training camp echo true, it's simple. He's not coming to wrestle, he's coming to destroy.